There are a number of reasons why people succeed or fail at anything in their life, including self improvement. I'm going to tell you why that is so in terms of nutrition. And we're going to start right now. My name is Lewis Harrison, and welcome to another Ask Lewis Self Improvement podcast. If this is your first time listening to the Self Improvement Show, and you're looking for lots of self improvement tips, hacks, thought provoking ideas, just hit the like button and subscribe, please. I post 3 times a week here. Throughout my life as a successful coach, writer, nutritionist, and radio talk show host, I have had an interest, actually a passion, for self improvement. You might call it human potential or self help or holistic health, even personal development. Whatever you choose to call it, it involves expanding one's knowledge, status, or character through one's own efforts and also through the support of other people. As you are here and you find things of interest, note that I do provide links to the bottom here in the description. And if you want to see the video about protein today and about vegetable-based meats, I do have some links there to a couple of videos. So, as I say in every podcast, the idea of self-improvement can overwhelm a person. And I tend to focus on 4 key areas: emotional, physical, daily routines, and planning and strategizing. And today we're going to be talking about protein, which is going to involve all 4 of those things, because protein can affect your emotions, it can affect your physical health. How you get protein and how you use protein is certainly part of a daily routine. And of course, you need to plan and strategize that daily routine if we really want to make it work. So, protein. I got motivated to do this because I was talking to somebody who went to a holistic health school, and they studied nutrition, veganism, and natural foods. And I asked them a very simple question: what are the 6 essential nutrients? In fact, I'm going to tell you the name of the school. It's called Integrative Nutrition. It's a very famous school. It's a big school. And I had a little school in New York City. They got so big that they pretty much put my school out of business at the time because everybody wanted to get a certificate, even though they didn't give a valid certificate at the time. Now they've gotten accredited from a different continuing education programs. I'm not dumping on them in any way or saying anything negative about them. I'm just saying that I talked to all of their students and they were interested in all the different kinds of diets, but nobody actually knew the 6 essential nutrients. That was a shock to me. So you just need to know that we talk about nutrition and holistic and natural all the time, but no one ever really talks about what are the essential nutrients. So in your diet, when you're eating fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and grains and meat and fish and eggs and maybe even junk food, there are actually 6 essential nutrients that you cannot get anywhere and your body cannot make it up. It has to get it from specific foods. And these 6 essential nutrients are proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and water. Now, why are they called essential nutrients? Because if you don't get them with enough calories, you will actually die. That's what malnutrition is a lack of the 6 essential nutrients. Now, one of those 6 nutrients is protein. And protein isn't one thing. Protein is made up of many different types of chemical agents, which are known as amino acids. To get technical, they have carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen in them. I don't want to get too technical for you and overwhelm you. So, protein. So there are thousands of proteins, thousands of amino acids, but there are 20 that you need in your diet to get. And 11 of them your body actually can manufacture, but 9 of them it cannot. And so these 9 essential amino acids are what create what is known as complete proteins. Now, people who haven't really educated themselves or just read whatever somebody tells them, they think that you need to get animal protein in order to get the protein that you need, but it really isn't so. Now, it's just not so. You don't need animal proteins to get all your proteins. That's why you hear about all these people that are vegans, because they can get all of the protein they need, and good protein, and not use any animal products. Now, it's hard for them to get vitamin B12 without some animal products, but you can take a multiple vitamin supplement and get that vitamin B12. Now, today I'm not really talking about veganism per se. What we're talking about is where to get protein from. And vegans obviously would find this very interesting. If you have a vegan friend who doesn't really know what you're doing, you might want to share this podcast with them. So when I say animal products, well, what do I mean? I mean fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds are not animal proteins. Animal proteins would be fish, eggs, meat, poultry, dairy products. That's what your main animal proteins are. Now, I personally was a vegetarian for almost, I would say 52 years, 53 years. But I started traveling in Asia, and in Asia, people eat fish. And I felt like an idiot trying to make some kid find tofu for me. And so I started eating fish, which I do now. I don't eat fish regularly. I eat it about twice a week. And usually it's salmon for the omega fatty acids, which are important for my health and reduce my chance of stroke or heart disease. So that's why I eat salmon. But I'm not a big fish eater. And I do eat eggs now also, though I did not for 55 years or so. I had a spiritual teacher from India, and I didn't eat any meat, no fish, no eggs, no poultry of any kind. So I don't know what you would call me now, a pescatarian, I think they call those, or whatever. Anyway, so the question becomes, why would a person want to get give up animal protein for vegetable based proteins? Well, it's more affordable for one. It's very inexpensive to eat vegetable food based foods if you do it well, vegetable based protein, and it's also very easy um, to organize it. And also, a lot of animal protein, especially meat, is not high in calcium and magnesium. Unless you, in the old days, they ate the bones. No, that's why people do bone broth now. But if you're just eating a lot of meat for protein, you're going to end up getting calcium deficiency. So a lot of cultures where they eat meat, they drink the blood, they eat the bones. Most Westerners do not, unless they're holistic kind of people eating bone broth. They eat steak, they eat chicken, they throw out the bones. They don't get a lot of calcium. So, if you're going to be doing a holistic diet, and you want to cut back a little bit on meat or get most of your proteins from vegetable sources, very easy to do. For instance, any grain or any bean eaten together, even within a 6 or 7 hour period, will be a complete protein and also be very high in minerals and calcium, magnesium, things like that. Any seeds or nuts that are eaten with grains also are complete proteins. They have all the essential amino acids. And then there are specialized foods like tempeh, which is an Indonesian kind of food that you can grill and bake, and you can use in a lot of different foods. And also there's tofu, of course, and two foods that are complete proteins in the vegetable kingdom are quinoa, which you may be familiar with that grain, and also soybeans, which also have all the essential amino acids. But most of the other vegetarian foods of grains and beans and nuts and seeds, they don't. They don't have complete protein in them. So any combination of those foods will give you complete protein. And there was a bodybuilder in the 1980s named Andreas Calling, and he was a lacto-ovo vegetarian. He used some milk products, and he also used eggs in his diet. And he was one of the top bodybuilders in the world. So people that will tell you that if you're an athlete, you need to get a lot of animal protein, they really don't know what they're talking about. Protein is protein. And if you have a good digestive system and you don't have particular health problems where you have mineral deficiencies of some kind, you can definitely, absolutely, without a doubt, get all of your essential protein from eating a diet that's a combination of grains, beans, nuts, seeds. And of course, now they have all these meat analog products. That's salami, bologna. They even have steak now that is made out of vegetable sources. And I get a thing called textured vegetable protein, TVP. and it has no taste. And if you add some liquid to it, and I put some what they call liquid smoke. It's a liquid smoke barbecue kind of flavor that I put that in. And I can make veggie burgers out of a combination of whole wheat flour, TVP, mushrooms, and lentils. They're great. So this is a good start for you if you're interested in holistic nutrition and self-improvement. I would recommend that you cut back on the amount of meat, fish, eggs, poultry that you use in your diet. These are not foods that are essential, and they're not that good for you. Maybe high in cholesterol, or they have pesticides in them, or hormones and beef. So I have many great resources for you based on the things that I've told you here, and also some book recommendations. And we also have an online community called the Self Improvement Lifestyle, which you can find on Facebook. And you can see the links in the description below. Well, now it's time to hear from you. Do you have a daily self-improvement routine or some nutrition tips that you want to share? I'd love to hear them. And you can just put them down in the comments section. And just thanks so much for listening. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll connect with you again this Tuesday. And I do broadcast every Tuesday, every Thursday, and of course, every Saturday. Be healthy and be well.